Another thing that you gave real priority to in your election night speech was the Uluru Statement from the Heart and Indigenous recognition. What do you think it's going to take to ensure that a referendum on recognition succeeds?
What it will take is people of goodwill to recognise that this is just about good manners. It's about First Nations people being consulted about matters that affect them. Now, that's the way I was brought up. It's just what we should do as good human beings and good citizens with each other. It's also about recognising that Australians will have great pride when we recognise in our national birth certificate, our constitution, that our history didn't begin in 1788. It began at least 65,000 years ago. And it should be a great source of national pride that we have the oldest continuous civilisation on the planet right here on this great island continent of ours. So with a bit of goodwill, we can reconcile, we can advance the interests not just of Indigenous Australians, but our country as a whole. And it can be a source of pride. I'm determined to get this done. We can't afford to just have another 3 years of drift, where it's now more than 5 years since the Uluru Statement from the Heart, this generous, gracious statement, seeking just a hand out and seeking that hand to be joined.
And will you press ahead with the referendum if it doesn't appear there's coalition support for the wording or so on?
Well, I think that the question that we'll ask ourselves at that point in time is if there's a choice between pressing ahead with the support that I know is out there from community organisations, from people of goodwill, for churches, from businesses, from media organisations, and a risk in that if there's not support across the political spectrum, or just putting it aside, is that a bigger risk? Is that just a risk of it just drifting away? And if we don't do something in the next term, then we're talking about 8 years since the Uluru Statement. Indigenous people are very patient, but there's a limit to their patience, and there's a limit to the patience of others as well.